My name is Amy, coming to you from Selph. It's lovely to be with you from afar. Today for our refined practice, we are going to do a pretty traditional series of movement for a traditional Vinyasa practice. So Vinyasa just translates to flow or to place in a special way, so that we place our body in a special way to not only move in all directions for the spine, but to bring our energy up and then drop our energy down, ready for meditation. And we do just have 30 minutes together, so we're going to dive straight into it. Come and stand at the top of your mat. And if you have just jumped on, if you have a yoga block at home or something you like to use for a little bit of support, grab that now. And then as you make your way to the top of the mat, land your feet about hip width distance apart. And just allow the shoulders to roll up to your ears and slide down your back a couple of times. And let the joints be quite spacious and soft. So the knees are soft, the ankles are soft. As you roll the shoulders up, you elongate, and then you sort of bop down and ground down. So you're moving your whole body, not just your shoulders here. You're feeling that frontal chain and that back line getting some warmth and some movement. Good. And then come to your Tadasana position. So palms will face forward, your shoulder heads will slide down your back. Top of your head is pulling upwards and your tailbone draws down. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a generous breath in through your nose. A cooling breath out of your mouth. And then zip up your lips. Inhale. Through your nose now, exhale. Good. Inhale through the nose as deep as you can. Exhale through the nose, so you're controlling the rhythm of the breath. Good. Do just two more here. If you know Ujjayi breath, that's like constriction at the back of your throat. Start to switch that on. If Ujjayi breath isn't in your practice, no problem. Just an even breath through the nostrils. Good. And then bring your palms together at your heart. Gently bow your forehead to your fingertips. And just welcome an intention for your practice today. To move well, to move in all directions, to shake off stagnation, and to strengthen your inner knowing, wherever you need to pour that attention towards today. Really feel your feet pressing down. As you breathe in, reach your hands right on up. Your gaze can go too. As you exhale, forward fold, lift your belly for me and take the weight into the balls of the feet. Have a halfway lift. Your hands will slide to your shins and your shoulders will roll back. And then plant your hands for a high plank. Walk your feet back. Set your body up nice and long, and then just bring your knees down. So you're in a modified variation here for our first one. Keep your fingers spreading quite wide, but press all the tips of your fingers down firmly to the mat. Squeeze the heels of your hands towards each other and spread and lift your collarbones. Good. Could you draw your navel slightly back towards your lower spine? So everything's connected from your arms to your belly, to your hips. And then rock your body forward so your shoulders are over your fingertips. Gently bend the elbows, transcend to the earth. Untuck your toes for a cobra pose, roll your shoulders and lift your chest. And then drop your head, child's pose, stretch yourself all the way back. Have a breath in. Breath out, really ground down. Good, and then come and make your way to down dog. Set your hands up shoulder width distance apart before you tuck your toes and lift your hips. Allow your feet to be about hip width distance apart, so there's an imaginary 2 fists in between your feet. Now you're welcome to pedal out your knees a little bit and just stretch into the edges of your body, starting to have that sense state of how you feel in your practice. In your physical form, in your mind. Good. And then we'll just pause together in stillness. Really affirm your shoulders away from your ears as you gently draw your chin in. Have a breath here. Full breath out. Coming up to your tippy toes and walk your feet to the top of your mat. We're stretching out the hamstrings here. And then take a halfway lift. Slide your hands to your shins, lower ribs in, pull your heart forward. Forward fold over your legs, drop your head, stretch your neck, And then sweep up to standing, press into your feet, reach tall with a breath. Hands to heart, so always integrating from where we've been back to the central focus of the body. Good. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift as you breathe in, long neck. High plank, steady yourself back. So just have one breath with your knees lifted. Just keep rolling your shoulders back away from your ears. Draw your knees to the earth, rock forward, lower, and you're going to pause in that little chaturanga push-up, and then descend to the earth. Good, untuck your toes, cobra pose. Lift more from the ribs and the upper back. And then child's pose, drop your head. Use that arm strength to press your hips back for a breath. Come on up. Stretch your hands forward for downward facing dog. Good, now can you land in a still place in your down dog? Easing your chest towards your thighs. Have a breath together. Full breath out. Breath in, come on up to tippy toes, lift your belly. Bend your knees, gaze forward. You're going to step one foot then the other, top of the mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Sweep to standing. Really ground into your legs to lift your chest. And then hands to heart, shoulders down and back. Good. Come to chair pose. Feet will be together as you bend your knees and sweep your arms forward and up. You're just going to stay here for the count of 3, of 2, of 1. Forward fold over your legs. Good. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. High plank, step yourself back. Good. Now have a little play with high plank to chaturanga with your knees lifted. So shoot your chest forward, keep your legs engaged, bend your elbows, heart is over your fingertips. Pausing in that push-up. Facing dog if you're ready, or descend to the earth, untuck the toes for cobra. Good, downward facing dog. Press on up and straight back over your toes. Generous breath in through your nose. Steadying breath out. Your right leg rises as you breathe in. Big stretch as you ground your left heel towards the earth. Gaze forward and step lightly to the top of your mat. Warrior 1, you'll land the foot on about 45-degree angle. Make sure you've got hip width distance with your feet. Before you come up, squeeze your right hip in. So you're really engaging your outer hip. Lift your belly, press firmly into the mat, and then float up. So your hips are really engaged. The more engaged we are through the lower body, we can play with that strength along the spine to support the movements that we're creating. Good. Just nestle your shoulders down your back. Have a breath for me. And then circle your hands to the earth. On an exhale, step back to high plank. Good. Come forward and lower down super slow, halfway. If you're going for up dog, you want to untuck your toes there. Lift your thighs, lift your belly, lift your chest. Downward facing dog. So just layering this sense of flow, placing the body in a special way. Good. Left leg rises as you breathe it in. Notice how much stretch this leg has through the right hamstring. Good. Gaze forward, curl your knee in, and then heel toe your foot for warrior 1. Good. Land your back foot. Just like before, hug your hip in. Press your feet down, lift your belly. And then it's like you can float your fingertips and press into your legs to come up. So using less momentum and more core strength, spinal strength, hip strength to transition through our poses. Good, more strength. Sometimes means a little bit more effort. It definitely builds more ease through the practice. Good, have one more breath here. Really stretch up through the outer edges of your arms. Circle your hands to the ground, step back to high plank. So this little flow is your choice. You want to do what's best for your shoulder strength. So you want to build it by coming to that halfway mark, and then up dog or cobra, whatever you feel is best for your spine. If you're going for cobra, your pelvis and your thighs stay on the ground. We'll meet together in downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Smooth breath out. Good. Start to come onto tippy toes, bend your knees, step your left foot forward, followed by the right. Halfway lift, forward fold over your legs. Sweep up to standing, rise yourself tall. Hands to heart, shoulders down your back. Your feet will come together and come to chair pose. So bend your knees and reach your arms up. Sitting back for a few more breaths than before. And chair mainly, we want to feel all the leg muscles working. So we can practice this by sort of karate chopping the hips. So there's more weight in the heels. And feeling as though we're breathing in and up through the lower back to get that lift and lightness through the chest. Doesn't really matter where your arms are. Go with what feels good for the shoulders. Squeeze your heels out a little bit so you can feel the outer butt working, the outer edges of your legs. Have one more breath. Forward fold all the way down. Halfway lift. High plank, you've got it. God, I haven't done this many vinyasas for ages. Good to practice though. Keep it with your breath as you inhale, come forward. Lower down slow. Cobra up dog as you breathe in. It's one of the fundamental movements. We'll track to down dog. That moves our direction of our spine in all ways. Good, full breath in. Gentle breath out. Your right leg rises as you breathe in. Play with grounding your left heel a little bit more as you extend upwards. And we're encouraging the hips to be square so the inner edge of your thigh lifts up. Good, gaze forward, step to the top of your mat. So you curl that knee and heel toe the foot to land. Warrior one, just like before. Switch on your right glute first. Sweep your arms forward and up. Good, now you'll take a breath in, nice and tall. Breath out, could you settle into the legs a little more? Breath in. Breath out. Breath in, you'll lift out of the hips slightly. And then exhale to warrior two. So you turn your back toes out so you're parallel to the mat. Wiggle your front foot in, broaden your arms and sink down in your legs. So you have more space for your hips, more space to dive in to the lower body. Good, gazes over your front hand. As we encourage the knee to draw out, could you simultaneously lift your chest and merge in with the breath, helping to feel the strength in the body. Gaze is resting firmly out in front, soft drishti. Next breath in, reverse. Lean a little forward so you can flip your palm through the air. Lean back, gaze back, stretch out your side waist, holding here just for 3. Gentle breaths for me for 2. For 1, hands will come to the earth, high plank, step yourself back. Charge your chest forward, your choice, halfway to up dog, rolling over the toes, or to cobra. Downward facing dog, we meet together. Trust your intuition, trust what you need. Your left leg rises as you breathe in. Really peel and press the ball of the foot up so the leg is super long. Press more into the heels of your hands so you get more height. And then as you curl that knee in, come onto the tippy toes of your right foot so it's easier to step to the top of the mat. Good, land your back foot, warrior 1. Squeeze and lift up. About 3 breaths as you settle into your shapes. This main standing series we do builds this sense of inner power, inner knowing, physical strength, and mental focus. That comes from a soft gaze. Good, 1 more breath, lift up a little bit. And then exhale to your warrior 2. Open your legs, broaden your stance. Ankles are about in one line as a rough guide. Your arms are really reaching beyond the fingertips. So we have this sense of expanding the legs from the hips, the arms from the shoulders, the head from the heart, and the heart from the hips. Good, nice focus. Lean a little forward, flip your palm reverse, stretch into your side waist. Cartwheel both your hands down, high plank. Good, so feeling the strength, and you got to follow your breath.
as you come down. Follow your inhale to a back bend. Downward facing dog. Make sure you switch off your neck muscles. So tuck your chin in, relax your head. Have a breath in, come onto tippy toes. As you exhale, lift your belly, bend your knees, gaze forward. No breath. See if you can spring and jump to the top of the mat. Good, give it a go. Halfway lift, forward fold over the legs. Yeah, drop into chair pose, bum goes back. This time your hands will come to your heart. Let your chest be quite proud. Lean yourself forward and twist over to the right. Left elbow outside of the thigh. Hands to heart as you squeeze your shoulders down your back. Maybe you feel like you have the room to open your arms today. You get this length from your head to your bum, your head to your bum. Have one more breath. Forward fold over your legs. Split your feet hip width distance apart and take Padangusthasana. So peace fingers, grab your big toes, wrist creases face in. Soften knees a little bit so you can tilt your bum up and then elbows out wide to pull your body down. In the moments of pausing in between the action, that's the moments to stay tuned into your body rather than checking out to your mind. Just notice the sensations, stay with the rhythm of your breath. Good, gently release your feet, bring them back together, second side, chair pose, bend and reach. Good, hands pull to your heart, heart is proud. Lean forward a little, twist to the left, right elbow outside your thigh. Good, so I want this sense that we're sort of leaning forward. Bum is really low. Maybe you can open your arms. If you have a little glance down to your knees, are they still together? If you feel like your right hip swinging out a lot, bend your left knee more. Bring that back into center. So you're really targeting the twist through the upper body. Good, gaze where it feels good for your neck, just for 3, for 2, for 1, forward fold. Gently unhook yourself, split your feet again, drop your head. This time Padangusthasana, so slide your hands all the way under your feet. And if you can get your toes up to your wrist creases, you can wiggle your toes and give your hands a little massage. Take a breath in and a full breath out. Good. Gently unhook your hands. Just press into your feet and roll up to standing, taking your time to get there. Good. Sweep your arms wide as you breathe in. And then hands to heart, settle that down. Good, take the weight into your right leg for me. You're gonna come to a tree pose with your left foot somewhere on the right leg. So you could just ankle stand it. You could go foot to calf, or you could go foot right up into the inner thigh, your choice. Right leg is pressing down, left knee is out. And let's have the hands on the hips just for a moment. Encourage the hips to be forward. And then when you're steady, reach your arms. It's always friendlier for the drishti, the focal point. If you gaze down a little, you could gaze to the horizon. If you want to challenge your balance, gaze upwards. Good. And can you find a very gentle inner focus to help support the physical effort? Let your mind immerse with your body, fully attentive to the focus needed to balance, to find equilibrium here. You're
Whole body's working together. Ooh, nice work. And then gently starting to come down, releasing your left foot to the earth. Give your hips a little shake, a little wiggle side to side. Good, and then come and find your balance on the opposite side. So left foot down, kickstand your right foot on the calf or right up on your thigh. And a sense of grounding with your hands to your hips, and you get to notice physically if they rotate. You can definitely tell in this shape my right hip rotates out a little bit. So pulling that in and trying to draw the knee down. Lifting more out of your butt cheek, your lower back. And then maybe you float the arms as you're ready. Play with your balance, play with your focus. It's nice to be fully immersed, isn't it, with yourself? Where could you soften the effort? Nice work, starting to come on down. Releasing the foot, just give your legs a little sway. Feel into your Tadasana, so hands will come by your side. Lift up your chest. Feeling into that space as you inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Halfway lift. And you're going to step your left foot back. And we'll land the heel, and we're going to set up for side angle pose. So you could have your block now into the inner edge of your ankle. You could always pop yourself up just so your forearm's on your thigh. Make sure your ankles are in line, and we're just going to reach the top arm straight up to the ceiling so it's nice and broad and opening through the chest. Good, sinking the belly of the thigh down. We're just here for 3. Opening a little deeper through the hips. This nice downward flow of energy for 2. For 1, pull yourself all the way up. Big reverse Trikonasana. Straighten up your front leg and lean back. Go, come on up through center. You're going to turn your right toes in. Mindful not to kick your block. You can bring it with you. And then squeeze your shoulders back, lift your chest, and forward fold. 2 straight legs. So you've got a block or your cushion if you'd like to have your hands on your block. You can stretch your block or your fingertips out, so you're stretching your upper back for this variation. Good, and then bring your block back in so it's under your shoulders. Take a halfway lift. Left hand presses into the block, your right hand reaches up, peeling yourself open. Good, hand comes down, switch sides. Right hand down, left arm up. Good, hand comes down, drop your head. Good, lift up halfway. You're going to turn your left toes out, start to sink down, and we'll come to side angle at the back of the mat. So your left hand to the block if you're using it, or you can just slide up onto your forearm. Extend your right arm upwards. So you have this opening all the way through the front girdle of the pelvis. Get that final little rinse out for the hips. Really opening up here just for 3. You've got it pressed firmly into your back leg so you can get a little bit more height through that top hip for 2. For 1, pull yourself all the way up, strong legs, straighten your front thigh, lift up, reverse. Come through center, you'll turn your left toes in, mindful of your block. This time your hands will go out and you'll interlace your hands behind you, squeeze the hands, lift the chest, fold forward. Keep pulling the weight into the balls of your feet as you drag the crown of the head downwards. Now you can always bend your knees a little. Hug your shoulders back so your shoulders are integrated, and then pull your arms more over your head. Good.
Now come to a halfway lift. You're going to slide your hands down, catch your block, press your hands into your block one more time, your left hand down, your right hand up, big stretch. Good, your right hand down, your left arm up. So just spiraling, gently flushing out the body. Good, hand comes down, you're going to crawl around to the top of your mat, over to your right foot, and step back to high plank. Good, and our last little vinyasa, so come forward and down. Cobra or up dog as you breathe in, linger in your back bend. Downward facing dog. Have a deep breath in and a long breath out. Good, come on up to tippy toes. Bend your knees, have a little crouch down and jump through to a seat. Once you come to your seat, you can roll on down to your back. Nothing too fancy. Might do a little C-curve and then set your feet up for bridge pose. So about a hip width distance apart, touch your ankles, press your shoulders into the mat, and then allow your hips to pull off the earth. Roll your spine off the ground. If you have the space, you can shuffle onto your shoulder blades and interlace the palms underneath you. I'm going to hold here for 5 breaths, lifting the hips. Find a little back bend just to balance us out. Next, stays nice and safe. Use your whole body here. Press your hips a little higher for your last breath. Start to release your arms wide. Roll slowly your upper back, then your mid back, then your lower back. Good. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet together, knees out wide. One hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Have a deep breath in. Smooth breath out. I want you to breathe in from your bottom hand to your top hand. Breathe out from your top hand to your bottom hand. Breathe in, belly to chest. Breathe out, chest to belly. Belly to chest. Chest to belly. One more. And you can come and catch your knees and draw them into your chest, just allowing your eyes to stay soft. And then just kick your legs up to the sky. You've got the option to slide your cushion onto your back or your block for a Viparita Karani. So if you want to just elevate your hips a little bit, you'll take your prop to the sacrum. Float your legs up in space. Good. Balancing the practice, breathing well, moving well, and resting well. All important phases to ensure that the flow of energy through the spine and through the whole body is quite even and balanced. And you can start to very gently drop your feet. Slowly, slowly. Feel your feet on the earth for grounding. Lift your hips and slide your prop away. And then as you bring your knees down, you're going to squeeze your knees in and just have a little rock and roll up into a seat. Good, come bring your feet together, let your knees go out wide and forward fold straight away. You can make this as active as you like or as passive as you like. So if you want to make this Baddha Konasana shape active, you press your arms into the thighs, helping to draw the knees out. If you want to make it more passive, the hands will just come forward and you'll round your back, your neck. Good. Wherever you are, just gather a deep breath in so you can breathe all the way up your spine. Lean into that, enjoy it. Good. Starting to lift yourself up. You'll squeeze your knees in, shoot your left leg out and hook your right foot over the knee. Your left arm will go upwards and then take a twist, elbow outside the thigh, or just wrap the arm around the leg. Good. So it's a little bit more targeted upright twist. So the energy is still going to move in upwards through the body, especially for a day practice. And get a little bit more leverage to target the upper back as you need it. And use an inhale breath to come on around. You can counter twist to the other side. And then switch legs. Your right leg shoots out and your left foot will cross over your knee. Big breath in to reach your arm, but really that's helping us to reach the spine long. And then hook or grab the thigh. The chest stays upwards, the seat stays steady. Always in that balance of where we're grounding, where we're lengthening, and then how do we move around the spine from that place. Good, next breath in. You can just unwind, little counter twist to the opposite side, have a little bow. And then as you come on up, both your feet flat, you're just going to lift your hips for a reverse tabletop, squeeze your shoulders back, and open up all the way through your body, squeeze your bum. And then as you swing your bum back, little universal egg, you can just wrap around the shins or bounce on your tippy toes or bounce on your bum. And then as you land your feet, come and slide out onto your back. And with as little fuss as possible, you're going to melt down to Shavasana. So adjust your body mindfully as you need to. Sometimes it's nice just to wiggle the hips, roll the ankles. And let your eyes be heavy to the back of your head. And back of your head heavy to the earth. Just welcoming any sounds you can hear. Letting them deepen your connection to this place of integration. So the more you rest here, you can drop down deeper towards the earth. And the sounds around you help you to tether that connection deeper to yourself, to hold in that sweet stillness and expanse underneath the skin. And if you've got the time, please feel free to stay in Shavasana. And if you're ready to get moving, you can have a body yawn, reaching yourself as long as possible. Roll on off to your right hand side and come and press up to a seat. You might sit up on your prop as you like. And then as you find your seat, just give your hands a little rub together. And take them right around your low belly, around your bowl of your pelvis. Deep breath in.
Long breath out. And that energy in the palms, marry them together at your heart space. Gently bow your forehead to your fingertips. Allowing the strength for our mind to stem from the ease in the body. Allowing the strength in the body to stem from the ease in the mind. Let's share an Om to seal practice. Have a breath in. Namaste. Thanks everyone for joining. Nice to see you from afar, to feel your presence.